Okay, next is factorials. Now, what are factorials? What is n factorial? N factorial means 1 into, 2 into, 3 into, 4 into, etc., 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 up to n, right? So we have already seen sigma n, right? Sigma n is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus up to n. So factorial is a product of numbers. Sigma n is the sum of numbers, product of numbers. So when we see sum of numbers, it is sigma n. When we see product of numbers, it is n factorial, right? So what is 6 factorial? 6 factorial is 1 into, 2 into, 3 into, 4 into, 5 into, 6, right? So this is what? Factorials. So when we say factorials or sigma n, one thing that we need to understand is when I say factorial, it is starting from 1, 2, 3, starting from 1, right? So consecutive numbers starting from 1, we are taking the product. Sigma n also when we say starting from 1, okay? But you can also get questions from this part also. We'll anyway discuss about that, but let me discuss about factorials now. So I am confining to my discussion on the numbers starting from 1, okay? Now what are the possible questions in factorials? You can get questions like highest power of a number, highest power of a number in a factorial. Okay, highest power of a number in a factorial. Or you can get number of zeros in the end of a factorial. Number of zeros in the end of a factorial. Or you can get number of factors of any factorial, right? Just like number of factors of a number. Factorial is also a number, so you can also get a question here also. Okay, but same formula is what we are going to apply there also. Now let's start with the first one. First one is highest power of a number in a factorial, right? So when I say number, there are two types of numbers. What are they? Prime number and composite number. Okay, so let me start off with prime number and we will extend that method to the composite number. Okay, so if you need to find highest power of 2, let's say in 100 factorial, okay, or let's take a smaller number, 10 factorial. What you will do is 10 divided by 2, you get 5. 5 further you divide, you continuously divide, okay, till you get remainder which is not divisible, right? So you again divide by 2, you will get 2, you can divide again, you will get 1. Now you cannot divide, right? So your number of 2's in 10 factorial, if you see 5 plus 2 plus 1, 8. 8 2's are there. So number of 2's in 10 factorial is 8, okay? So 8 2's are there in total. So what if you want to find number of zeros in 100 factorial, you will just do this, 100 divided by 2, 50 divided by 2, you get 25, divided by 2, you get 12, divided by 2, you get 6, divided by 2, you get 3, divided by 2, you get 1, right? Now what you will do is, you will add all these things, you will get 97. So how many 2's are there in 100 factorial? 97 2's are there. Or I can put it in this way, the highest power of 2 in 100 factorial is 97. 97 2's are there, okay? Or if you need to find how many 5's are there in 100 factorial, what you will do? 100 divided by 5, okay? So you will get 20. Further you divide by 5, you get 4. And then what's the answer? You just add these two together. So how many 5's are there? 24 5's are there. So that's how you'll find the highest power of a number in a factorial if it is a prime number. Now let's take a composite number. We are going to extend the same method, composite number. Let's take 10. See, composite number, directly we don't have a method. So what we do is, we will split this number into prime number. So we will prime factorize and we'll write it as 2 into 5. And we'll see how many, what is the highest power of 2 in 100 factorial and what is highest power of 5 in 100 factorial, and we'll take the least one, okay? Because we need to get the combination. That's the reason why we are taking the least one. So if you need to see highest power of 10 in 100 factorial, what you do is 10 you will prime factorize and then you will see how many 2's are there. We have already seen that just now. 97 2's are there. How many 5's are there? We have seen 24 5's are there, okay? So 97 2's and 24 5's are there, but I need to see how many 10's are there. And how you get 10? You get 10 only if you combine a 5 and a 2, right? So how many 2's and here 97 2's are there, 24 5's are there. But only if I combine a 5 and a 2, then only I'll get 10, right? So I have 24 5's, I'll take 24 2 from here. So I can make 24 10's. I can make 24 10's. Rest of the 2's are not useful here, okay? So that is the reason why I told you, take the least number. Wherever you're getting least number, you will take that only, okay? So 24 10's are there. That means highest power of 10 here in 100 factorial is 24. So any composite number, what you will do, you will prime factorize, and you know the method for how to find the highest power of a prime number in a factorial. You apply the same thing, right? Now next is, how many zeros are there in a factorial? How many zeros are there in a factorial, right? So if you need to find how many zeros are there in 100 factorial, zeros means basically how many tens are there. Now you already saw the method to find how many tens are there, right? So when you get 0, when you have a 10, you will get a 0, right? So you need to find how many tens are there. Now you know how many tens are there. How will you find it? You will write 10 as 2 and 5. And then you see how many 5s are there. You don't want to find 2s also, because you know anyway number of 5s will be less than 2 and you need to get the combination. Okay, so effectively number of 10s means number of 5s. You don't want to bother about 2, so you can avoid this calculation. You just need to find 5s. Okay, so it can be in 1000 factorial, it can be 300 factorial, 400 factorial, or whatever it is. There is no point in doing 2 and 5 then taking least. Anyway you know that least will be 5, so do that only. Okay, so 100 factorial, how many zeros are there? Effectively you need to find how many 5s are there, or basically you need to find how many 10s. It means how many 5s are there, because 2s are anyway greater than the number of 5s. Okay, now what is the next possible question? How many factors are there in a factorial, right? Let's take 6 factorial. 6 factorial, we know this is 720. So what you will do, you will prime factorize and you apply the method m plus 1, n plus 1. We have already discussed the formula for number of factors. Or how will you write, what is the 6 factorial? 1 into, 2 into, 3 into, up to 6. 4 into, 5 into 6. This you can write as 2 raised to 4 into 3 square into 5. Because you can get this 5 here. 3 square, you'll get a 3 here, you'll get a 3 here. So 2 3s are there. Now how many 4s? 4 4s, because 1 4 here, 2 4s here, 1 4 here. So total like this. Okay. Now you understood that 2 raised to 4, 3 square and 5. How many factors are there? You directly write it as 5 into 3 into 2. This is a number of factors. Now you can find how many odd number of factors here. Okay. How many even number of factors here? How many odd number of factors here? You'll take only this, right? 3 into 2. 6 odd number of factors are there. How many even number of factors are there? You will write this just like that. 4 into 3 into 2, right? 24. So total 30. 6 odd number of factors, 24 even number of factors. So any question can be answered just like that. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many zeros are there in 13 factorial? How will you do? How many zeros are there in 13 factorial? You will see how many 10s are there. How will you do? Effectively it is how many 5s are there, right? So I'll see how many 5s are there, right? So basically I'll get 2 5s. That means I have 2 zeros. I have 2 zeros in 13 factorial, right? Now what about 26 factorial? What I'll do? 26 divided by 5. I'll get 5. I can divide it again. So 1. So how many zeros are there? 6 zeros are there. How many zeros are there? 6 zeros are there. Okay, one question which I've seen is, how many natural numbers are there such that their factorials are end in 5 zeros? Okay, so I'm looking for a number. If you take the factorial, it will end in 5 zeros. Okay, so how many such numbers are there? If you see how many zeros are there in 20, let's see. Okay, 20, how many zeros are there? You'll divide by 5. You understood there are 4 zeros. Okay, so 20, if you take 21, 4 zeros, 22 if you take 4 zeros, 23 if you take 4 zeros, 24 if you take 4 zeros. Now let's see 25, how many zeros are there? You will divide, right? You will divide by 5, you get 5. You will divide by 5 again, you will get 1. How many zeros are there? 6 zeros are there. So from 20 to 24, if you see, how many zeros are there? 4 zeros are there. Now 15 to 19, how many zeros are there? 3 zeros. This doesn't matter for us. Okay, we are not interested. 20 to 24, we know that 4 zeros. 25 to next 29, we know that we have 6 zeros. So how many zeros are there? With 5 zeros, no numbers are there. Okay, no such numbers are there. If you take the factorial, you get 5 zeros, because 20 to 24, any number, any natural number if you take, you will get 4 zeros. 25 to 29, if you take 6 zeros, now the zeros will increase only. Okay, so there are no such natural numbers. If you take the factorial, it will end in 5 zeros.